Hey guys, wanted to do a quick review today. This will be the third review I've done for this channel, and right next to a street, so bear with me for the tire roar. But anyway, the reason I picked this fragrance is because not of just Frederic Malle fragrances in general, but I would say of all the hot weather, it's July 14th here in Austin, Texas, all the hot weather fragrances, this one is my number one. It's a Frederic Malle, as I said, and it's Eau l'Hiver. I practiced that. But anyway, Eau l'Hiver. And of course, Jean-Claude Elena is the perfumer. Frederic Malle is the owner of the brand. And I researched this a little bit because it's, quite frankly, on the surface, a striking fragrance. I would say that this is the only one of this of what I would call lighter type of easier to wear in the heat. Today was 105 degrees was the high here, Fahrenheit, for sure. So a little research on it, and what I came up with is another one that's in my collection, a Guerlain, and this is Apres le. And what these two have in common is heliotrope. Heliotrope is a bush not widely grown around in central Texas, but I have seen it before. I lived in London. There's quite a bit of it in Britain, and the fragrance, although I never smelt it when I lived there, the fragrance is described and characterized by an almond-like vanillic creaminess. The description, quite frankly, makes me think of some wonderful souffle or something, with just a hint of cherry. And that's spot on. Both of these fragrances, the Frederic Malle fragrance, Eau l'Hiver, and the Guerlain fragrance, Apres le, are both based on heliotrope. This one's quite a bit older. Don't know the release date on this, but it's an older fragrance. Maybe the 50s, 1950s, if I had to guess. And then the Frederic Malle was released in the early 2000s. Let's see, 2003. So this is a 17-year-old fragrance. Okay, so heliotrope, number one. A very different fragrance from this one, to be sure. The other commonality, I believe, is an undercurrent, especially in the top note, of iris. And then some aspect, especially in the Frederic Malle fragrance, is hedione. Hedione is hard to describe, but it's a synthetic. Firmenich is the producer of this one from Perfumer's Apprentice. And let's just give it a shot here. Hedione, not to be confused with the heliotrope. Floral, jasmine notes for sure, but a hay undercurrent, So it's not straight out floral as much as it has an earthy tone to it as well. Very common in fragrances in general. Hedione is very, very commonly used, and definitely in the Frederic Malle version. Southern Rhone. You might ask why the hell I'm drinking red wine in this damn heat. I'm out of Roussanne and Marsanne, plain and simple. Viognier would probably be better. It's just like a tenth of an ice cube in it. But anyway, come on, Suburban, go. Thank God there's not a bunch of gear shifting in the background. Okay, so as far as the Frederic Malle is concerned, the idea with this, from what I've read and researched, is that he was enthralled and interested in this fragrance, but updating it in a more modern version, and the result was this. Both, of course, with the heliotrope base are heart notes. Again, the heliotrope, fluffy almonds, vanilla with a touch of cherry, just like a dessert you want in any restaurant. And then, so let's go ahead and try these bad boys. First, the original. A blessed fragrance, to be for sure, for me. Aldehydes for sure on the top. The heliotrope gives that absolute wonderful freshness with just a trickling undercurrent of nuttiness. What busy workers at a brassier French small restaurant, sitting on the patio, at a marble bistro table that weighs about 500 pounds, and this is what you would waft subtly across when they're serving you a big, fat, sloppy bowl of French onion soup with a Gouda cheese just plastered and dripping on the floor. Don't get me wrong, there's not a touch of cheese in this. The freshness of this would make even the sweatiest, grimiest human being Broadway acting star in fragrance. Now my daughters, I can't convince them to wear anything, quite frankly, but maybe I'll spray their towels with it and they'll pick it up and ask me for it. It's freaking beautiful. I love it. I love it. Okay. Now on to the more modern interpretation of this heliotrope-based fragrance. I mean, when it comes to summer, I mean, your choices are, in this kind of heat, number one, plaster on the Arm & Hammer and aluminum salts under your armpits and pray for no BO. Or go with something along the lines of either a citrus with subtle lavender notes, maybe a chypra, or something like this. This is a floral, but not to the point to where not overly feminine, although I don't have a problem with feminine. I would say that this is just plain and simply, it's just clean, but also botanical, a very botanical fragrance. In some ways, whenever I smell these, I'm always reminded of botanical waters. There's some new different types of specialty sodas and whatnot that have botanical or edelweiss or elderflower or thyme. The other day I had an excellent soda from Central Market, which is the HEB store here, kind of the equivalent of a gourmet kind of more upscale grocery here. Thyme and tangerine. The thyme, there's no citrus, at least in this one, and we're about to test this one. It's the thyme that makes it snap, you know, with the fizz and the effervescence. It has kind of that. In the doldrums of the heat of the midsummer in July of Austin, Texas, this is the kind of thing that's going to keep you fresh and interesting. My opinion, of course. All right, Olivier. Again, the heliotrope is all in my face here, which it's not heavy cream, it's not heavy dessert, it's not heavy almond, it's not heavy vanilla, it's not heavy cherry. It's fluffy, evaporating from a distance, a dessert from another table. Definitely more modern. That's the synthetics. I mean, there's synthetics in this, of course. I mean, this is reformulated I don't know how many times, but this is not from 1950 or 60. But this one, you can pick that out, and not in a bad way, a sophisticated way. The heliotrope, the iris, like a water lily leaf ripped in half and dripping in cold water. By the way, Olivier means winter water. There's definite green notes. I'm thinking of this philodendron that's hanging in front of me. The oozing sap from a ripped water lily leaf. The condensation on cool glass inside of a terrarium that's maybe 45 degrees Fahrenheit. And then when I went to the internet and looked at Fragrantica, the other notes that are ranked from highest to lowest, of course, the heliotrope, the iris, then they bring in a white musk. I wouldn't put that third. White musk maybe a fifth, but definitely angelica and honey, and not the honey that you get with zoologist bee, which I enjoy, but it's florid honey to the point to where when I wore it outside, that the damn bees were all over me. Like I was a walking hive. But anyway, honey, bergamot, I definitely get a touch of that. Well, the white musk. The bergamot, and then jasmine on the tail end. The jasmine is in the distance. Of course, these are just ranked. They're not necessarily top, heart, or base notes. There's a medicinal quality to this as well. And it's a beautiful medicinal quality. It's freaking outstanding, plain and simple. I searched through all the Jean-Claude books that I have, and I searched the internet too, trying to get some comments from Jean-Claude on this, but the Bulgari always seem to take precedence as far as something even remotely similar. This Bulgari, that white perfume that's quite, I think, liver. I would love for Jean-Claude Elena to give his spiel, as he beautifully does with his other fragrances, like at least Mediterranean from Frederic Malle, of the journey, the poetic journey that he took to arrive at the fragrance. It's absolutely splendid to read. Even better for him to tell you, for instance, an audiobook, with his voice. Very, very classical, wonderful, probably potentially my favorite perfumer for sure. I'm not sure who the perfumer is for this Guerlain example. So going back to the Guerlain Apres Léondais, it's much more youthful. It's much more free-spirited. My girls are getting sprayed with this on their towels for sure. They've got to wear that. That is just wonderful. Of course, I'll have to do that before this comes out. YouTube will probably ruin it for me. Anyway, they have good noses. I'm just their freaking dad.